Okay, hi. This is video number 3 for 1.4, factoring trinomials. So we have already talked about factoring these using the area model. That's that box, right? And then the second method was factoring with X method, but also using grouping. This is going to be factoring with just straight X method. So this one is just factoring no grouping. And to me, this is the fastest, easiest way to do this. This is the way I will always choose to do these. I'm only going to put 2 examples in here. If you want or need more, we can do those together. But we're dealing with the same things. We have trinomials that are in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c. That's the quadratic form. I don't think you can see that enough. And I'm going to literally only do 2 examples for these. So we're going to go to the next page. And you guys already kind of know how to get these started, so that's going to be helpful. The first one that we're going to do is 5x squared minus 13x minus 6. Okay, so we know that a is 5, the b is negative 13, and the c is negative 6. We're still going to make our x. In the top goes a times c, which is going to be negative 30. In the bottom goes b, which is negative 13. And we're still finding 2 factors that multiply to equal a times c and add or subtract to equal b. Okay, so if we look at things that even equal 30, we have 1 times 30, we have 2 times 15, we have 3 times 10, 4 doesn't go into 30, we have 5 times 6, and that's about it. So maybe one thing we haven't talked about, if this is a negative number and we're multiplying 2 things to get to it, these 2 things have to be different signs, which means we're now going to be subtracting to get to our b value, right? Because we have 2 things here that could be 15, or 13, I'm sorry. 3 and 10 are 13, well 2 and 15 are also 13, but if we're subtracting them, the only option here is the 2 and the 15. So negative 15 plus a 2 is the only possible way to make this happen, right? A negative times a positive is a negative, and negative 15 plus 2 is negative 13. The 3 and the 10 would not work. Okay, so here's the new information. This is all old stuff. Once you have this set up like this, you're going to divide both factors by the a and reduce if possible. Okay, well, our a is 5, so I'm going to divide this by 5 and divide this by 5. This right-hand side here, 2 over 5, that's not reducible, so I'm just going to circle that. And this other side, I can reduce. Negative 15 over 5 is negative 3 over 1, and I'm going to leave that one. Okay, so now our circled terms. These actually become our binomial factors. And they become binomial factors by bringing the bottom number up and giving it a variable And the top number becomes the constant. So here's what I mean by that. This -3/1 becomes 1x. The 1 would come up and get a variable. The 1 we don't need to see. And then the -3 becomes the second part of the constant in the binomial. So the 2/5, the 5 will come up and get a variable. So this will be 5x plus 2. And that's done. Done. I think it's so much faster. But some people have trouble with this. They forget to divide by the a term. I don't know. So I'm giving you 3 different ways. Let's do one more. And after that, you can just go do a varsity. Maybe. I don't know. You're doing something. And you can choose whichever way you want. So there you go. All right. So this one, the problem is going, and this one's got some tricks to it. So I'm just throwing one out like what's going to be in your varsity. So this is 18x to the third plus 60x squared plus 32x. All right, well, there should be some alarm bells going off in your head at this point. You know, ding, 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 because ours have to be in the form, quadratic form, ax squared. Squared. This is not squared. Plus bx, 1x, 1 right here. This is not that. Plus c, no variable. Well, that's not the case. All right, so if we move those things out of there, just get these things out of here that I made a mess of. Okay, so there's our trinomial, right? It's a trinomial, and it says factor it. So the first thing that should be going off in your head is that there is a GCF in this thing. And you need to take that GCF out first. That always needs to happen first. We've been talking about that. So if I take a look at this, 18, 60, and 32, I can take a 2 out, and an x cubed, x squared, and x, I can take an x out. So I'm dividing those out of all of these. So now I get 9x squared plus 30x plus 16. And this now becomes the trinomial that I am going to throw into my x when I make my x. And I'm going to keep that 2x out in front as the GCF. Okay, so here's my x for my x method. My new a, actually I don't want to put those over there. I'm going to move that and put those over here so they don't get in the way. My new a is 9. My b is 30. And my c is 16. Okay, so I've already done this math somewhere else. It's on another piece of paper. But a times c, 9 times 16 is 144. And my b is 30. And everything's positive, so I'm going to be adding these things together. Okay, so if I look for factors of 144, I'm going to go 1 times 144, and I need these to add. I need these to add to 30. Okay, so 2 times 72, 3 goes in there 48 times, 4 goes in there 36 times. So far, I have no way to get to 40, right? This is 145, 74, 51, 40. So 5, 5 doesn't go in there. 6 goes in 24 times. And there's my 30 that I need. Okay, so 6 and 24. Now remember, your next step is to divide by the a term. Well, a is 9, so divide by a and divide by a and reduce if possible. Well, both of these reduce. So I can divide a 3 into both of those, and I get a 2 over 3. And I can divide a 3 into both of these, and I get 8 over 3. And now my bottom comes up and gets a variable. So this is going to be 3x plus 2, and this is going to be 3x plus 8. And that is my factored form. Oh, and 2x out front. Don't forget the 2x out front. You got to bring that guy down as a GCF. I almost forgot. You guys will forget in varsity. It'll happen. It's okay, though. But it's got to come out first. All right, so that's it. That is X method. It's fairly straightforward in my opinion. It's also the fastest one. Once you get comfortable with it, you can use any of those 3 methods that we talked about. Okay? All right, so that's it. Toodaloo for now.